Welcome everyone, I'm going to be making a modified Dutch board today, so let's run through these materials. This base is 1 part acrylic paint and 3 parts Filtrol. I'm using these colors from Arteza. The lacing mix is Amsterdam Oxide Black mixed with water. It's about 1.5 parts paint to 1 of water. And like any Dutch board, first we need to work on a wet base. I'm using an 8-inch round, and this is why I love using silicone mats with measurements. I know that when the puddle covers the 4-inch mark, it will spin out to cover an 8-inch round perfectly with minimal excess off the sides, as you can see here. So I like to put my colors down in strips. First I'll do the yellow, and then this metallic red. Just sort of overlapping the colors. And then we'll space out the orange a little bit. And with the lacing mix, you don't need a lot. I'm gonna go for like single drop increments, and we'll use a stick instead of going straight out the cup. So I'm basically just spreading out a few drops of the lacing mix to get some petals with cells, right? So we want a little extra base around the strip of colors. This will help with that initial movement when you start pushing out the petals. If you feel like you're adding too much, you can do the same thing with a stick. Just imagine adding a line of, just like you did with the colors, but do it with the base next to the colors, right? So typically when you're using a blow dryer, this helps ensure that your colors mix with the base color, and it creates a more flowy and softer look, especially when the white sort of turns the colors a bit more pastel or shows as a gradient because the colors get a little bit transparent, right? When I'm working relatively small, if it's too small for a blow dryer, I like to use a straw. And essentially what I'm doing was avoiding the lacing mix, right? I'm covering up the strips of color, but avoiding where I put the lacing mix. If you ever use the lacing mix or a cell activator, you know it has to be the top layer. If you cover it up, it stops working, right? So now I just push the petals out in opposite directions. When you hit the lacing mix, you want to hit it at an angle because you're blowing it outwards. You're not pushing it down, you're pushing it out, right? And if you're struggling with the blowout, usually a straw isn't hard, but if you're struggling with the blowout, it generally helps to move your body in the same direction you're pushing out the petals. That sort of few inches of movement in the direction you're going will usually push your petal out just a little bit further. And repeat this pretty much as many times as you need until you have enough petals coming out of that strip, the vine that we made in the beginning. And now is when things can get pretty interesting. So I like to use the back of a paintbrush for this, and I just pull from the white into the petals to form either petals or leaf shapes or anything floral in design, basically. Remember to clean the back of the paintbrush with a paper towel in between these swipes. Otherwise, you're going to keep grabbing the color and placing it on the white outside the petal, right? Rinse and repeat this as many times as needed. But if you want to learn more about this technique in detail, including all the science, how things work, the recipes and alternative materials, color theory, and all that good stuff, have a look at my online courses in the link in the description of this video, and I'll also add it to the pinned comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you like this painting.